listening to Turning Hard Times into Good Times with your host, Jay Taylor. If you have a question or comment about today's show, Jay would love to hear from you at 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You can also send an email to questionsfortaylor@gmail.com. That's questions, the number 4, Taylor@gmail.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome to this special edition of Turning Hard Times into Good Times. I'm here with my partner, Chen Lin. Chen writes a newsletter, in case you're not aware, called What is Chen Buying, What is Chen Selling? And I'm hoping to have Chen on this show from time to time to talk about some of the stocks that he is most focused on. Chen Lin has an amazing track record, and I want to share some of his ideas with listeners to Turning Hard Times into Good Times, as I say, hopefully do it more often than we have in the past. Chen has a lot of stocks on his radar, but at any given time, he is focused like a laser on 2 or 3 or a few, just a handful of stocks at most that he really is focused on. And these are stocks that usually have the potential to move up quickly and dramatically. Now, I've started to focus more on Chen's top picks in my own newsletter, and I've a column there that I call Chen Lin Light. And I do believe that my subscribers will make money following some of Chen's ideas. However, the biggest gains will be for investors who are able to act quickly on Chen's frequent messages during the week, where he passes along his insights to his subscribers in frequent updates. And his newsletter is called What is Chen Buying, What is Chen Selling? I will explain at the end of this discussion how you can subscribe to Chen's letter. But first, let me welcome Chen Lin to the show. Thanks for joining me again, Chen.
Thank you, Jay.
Chen, there are 2 biotech stories that are very interesting to me that you are watching very closely, and I have begun investing in them personally, and have added one of those to my newsletter. But the first one I'd like to ask you about is Sarepta Therapeutics, trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol SRPT. You recommended it back in July of 2012, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at around $8 a share. In September of this year, it hit right around $40 a share. A week ago, Barron's put out a very positive story on this company and what appears to be a very promising drug for a form of muscular dystrophy known as Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This disease afflicts young boys. Can you describe for our listeners what the disease means for the young boys that are afflicted with it?
Yeah, it's a terrible disease. What it does is it's a genetic, because of genetic error, they cannot create dystrophin. So actually there is a muscle weakness. So basically, as they grow up, they will lose the ability to walk, usually in the early teens. And then by early 20s, they will lose the ability to breathe. Okay, and then they will die around usually before the 25 or 30 birthday. It's a terrible disease, and people having, I'm just, I've seen all these videos about those have been very, very terrible, and for those people with those diseases, there's absolutely no cure. So you just for the parents, they're just waiting for their kids to die.
Oh,
just like that.
So it's a death sentence, and are these boys? It just occurs in boys, right?
Only boys only. That's associated with male gene, not female gene, but usually carried by the mom.
Oh, and it's from birth, though, right? It's something that's
right from the birth.
Yeah,
nothing to do about that.
Okay. So Sarepta Therapeutics has developed a drug named eteplirsen, which has seemed to display great efficacy with little, if any, known side effects. Can you talk a little bit about the trial results for this drug?
Yeah, they have people on trial for more than 3 years. Okay, the kids who, there's 2 kids actually originally who as soon as before the drug was able to take effect, they lost the ability to walk. That's a 2 exception. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the kids actually was able to walk. You think about the 3 years. I mean, they started 9 years old, and now it's 13. 12, 13.
Uh-huh.
And there's so many examples that their brothers who has also a DMD at that age already on wheelchair. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a little boy called Max, and and then now they can walk. They can still walk like normal kids. So it sounds like have some dramatic effect on the kids, and it's very safe. There's no side effect whatsoever. The problem with those with DMD is you have to go on trial. You have to follow it maybe for 5 years, right? And you do a trial at least 3 years to see the effect. The problem is if you do another trial, and then how many kids will die?
Yes,
that's the issue. Okay? So that's why there was a strong movement of the parents who had DMD, kids with DMD, and us. Actually, I was one of those people, and I was talking in my newsletter to ask people to sign petition to their congresswoman, and then there was a hearing on this to push DMD to change. And then about a year or two ago, there was a new law passed. Okay, the medical reform law actually gave accelerated approval protocol to the FDA. So the FDA has a tool to give it conditional accelerated approval to this drug. So they have the tool now, and now they're going to review this. The advisory committee will set to January. So, and then the decision will be next February. So it came a long way. I mean, in this, you see that it's for many years, and because it's 3.5 years past, right? The stock appreciated a lot, but I think has a lot more room. But it has a roller coaster ride because FDA originally they hate it. Because FDA didn't like to change. They think this is the way we are. I know we don't want to change, even there's new law. So be it. I don't care. I mean, so there's so much turmoil. FDA say all these bad things about it, and then people heavily shorted. This stock is heavily shorted. My take is those people who shorted, the hedge fund who shorted, probably know people in FDA. They know the FDA's position. Right? So that's why they shorted like $500 million.
Yeah.
But anyway, it has been a rough ride. But I was able to, buy low, sell high. I mean, I did it so many times. You can see the past history and so many letters. In the past a few months, I already did. The first time I go to $20, I say buy. Right when the first FDA started thinking about changing $20, and then $40 we sell. And I went back to 23 again, and then buy again. And then recently it went almost 38. I sold around that 38, 39. So I'm kind of waiting for the when we're getting close to the approval, close to the committee time, which is early January. I probably will buy again because I expect it to be approved. There's no reason why FDA, should reject it. Absolutely no reason. But people always have the doubt. It's never happened before. It will be the first time FDA uses a protocol to approve a candidate for a deadly disease.
Yeah, well, it's a new process, and the FDA doesn't like to change. They've always done things the way they've done it, and so even in this case, Chen, where boys stand to lose their lives, there's a possibility, a very good possibility, it would seem, that lives can be saved and perhaps living more normal lives even going forward. I know that one of the criticisms of this drug is that there were only, I think, a small number of trials, right?
Yeah, exactly, 12 boys. But yeah, they are doing the thing. This is for the that's the new law passed, right?
Yeah.
To address this issue because it's a very, very rare disease. One out of like 5,000. I mean, for the war I have this one. So very hard to find a patient, and then it's a very long process. Think about it. The muscle degrades. It takes, a few years to measure. I mean, you do a few hundred trial, you can do it, but it lasts at least a few years, right? And in the meantime, all the kids are waiting to die.
Yeah.
You see, that's a very, very dramatic situation. Right? So it fits a new law, the first textbook picture perfectly. So it's really up to FDA to abide for the new law to grant accelerated approval to eteplirsen.
All right. Now there is a larger, more powerful company called BioMarin Pharmaceutical that has also developed a drug aimed at curing or at least reducing the negative impacts of this Duchenne muscular dystrophy. How does that company's drug compare with Sarepta's drug?
They have a same idea. Okay, it's the same idea. It's the same mechanism. Okay, that's
the same technology.
Same technology. It's called exon skipping. I mean, we can go detail about that, but I'm not sure we have time.
No.
But the drug has a very high side effect. So as a result, they can only dose 6 milligrams. Okay, Sarepta can dose 50 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You see, it's exactly same mechanism, but it's much lower dose. So what I did personally, I watched this for 3.5 years. You know that. So what I watched is that because of BioMarin, it's so weak, the dose is so weak, so it's very hard to see the results. Even at the 6 milligrams, there's so many kids have to quit the trial because of a strong side effect.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even in the recent AdCom, the FDA director mentioned, if they approve this drug, a lot of kids will die just taking their medicine.
Yeah.
And so I think FDA is probably made up its mind they're going to reject them. But this rivalry, I mean, most of Wall Street are more for BioMarin, partly because they have done a lot of business with them.
Sure.
There's so much controversy, there's so many reports that I think the BioMarin has the edge, but at the end they're all wrong, right? This is one of the that the little guy, has the edge because they have a better technology.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Chen, if it's the same basic technology, why? I mean, maybe this is too technical to get into here and would take too long, but do you have a simple answer as to why the one drug seems to work so much better and has no side effects compared to the BioMarin?
Oh, it's a formula, right? The base, the one has a very strong side effect. Right? 6 milligrams. Just think about it. You're taking a Tylenol, right? Instead of taking 1 pill of Tylenol, you're taking maybe 1/10 of pill of Tylenol. Would that be effective? It may be, right? It's very hard to measure. That's the thing. And then even at 6 milligrams, a lot of people are quitting. Just cannot take it anymore because of side effects. It's very painful. You can see the FDA slide, and it's just people getting sick taking that, just 6 milligrams. And Sarepta can take 50 milligrams. They can even go higher without any side effect. So that's a big difference.
Okay, so I think there was even a case where one of the boys was taking the BioMarin drug and he switched to the Sarepta drug with good results, I believe. Yeah,
there are. I mean, I assume, probably all of the mom wouldn't want their kids to go through that. It's so painful. Even the injection part is very painful. So by the way, they just make their trial unblinded, right? It's supposed to be a blind trial that you don't know you're taking a drug or not. But the problem is their drug is so painful. Every kid who taking the drug, they know they're taking the drug. It's painful.
My goodness. As you mentioned, you've been in and out of this stock. But assuming FDA approves Sarepta's drug, what do you think the upside might be for this stock?
Well, I think this can go to, for example, $100 relatively easily. But there will still be some speed bump coming because there has a patent. The patent trial, because they're suing each other for patent violation. The same idea, right?
Yeah.
One file patent first in Europe, one file patent first in the U.S., and they're suing each other. So there will be some speed bump coming, but at the end, I think Sarepta, if it's about a winner, I believe $100 should be.
So what should we be looking for drivers for this stock, Chen? What might people be watching for?
Yeah, first it will be FDA committee. That's in January, and the FDA potentially accelerate approval in February. And then there will be trial for the different patents, but that will be later on. And then they probably will launch in Europe, right? That's the European approval, so on and so forth. So there's many different milestones coming. I've been fortunate enough just trade around that because the stock is so volatile. So we try to buy low and sell high, and take a few round trips making money because the fact it just the swing of the stock has been extreme. So.
Yeah, and what about the financing for this company? Are they well financed? Or they need to go back to the well and raise some more money and dilute shareholders?
Yeah, they seem to be raising money once a year. Okay, they just raised recently like $39. The company actually did excellent job of raising money. Right, last year they raised at $38, and
Good
now
for
dropped
them.
to $10 afterwards because of FDA's. They seem to very good at raising money, and this year it raised at $39, and then a few weeks after that, after FDA delayed their ad count, it dropped to 23. Right, that's when we were able to buy it.
Buy some more.
So,
Yeah.
so the management did an excellent job raising money when the stock is high, and then because of the high profile, this is the highest profile case in this year, right, for in biotech. So there's a lot of fund and wealthy investor willing to bet on this stock. So far, they seem to be able to raise money pretty well.
Yeah. Well, certainly the stock is very actively traded, and I've noticed the options premiums are very high. The stock is very volatile, obviously, so it is an exciting story. And so I guess we want to keep our eyes on January. The FDA approval is when it would be, or the FDA decision, I guess, right, Chen?
Yes.
And that's when we want to watch. Well, that's the kind of thing, folks, if you're a subscriber to Chen's letter and you have your eyes peeled on your emails that are coming through, you can pick up right away and do very, very well by Chen's timely advice. And he really keeps on top of these things as well as anybody I know, and then lets his subscribers know immediately as soon as he's taken his position. He lets his subscribers know what he's doing, and it's worked out very, very well. Chen, just one other name I want to ask you about. I don't want to spend the time right now. Maybe next week or sometime soon we can go into more depth. But another one that you're really excited about is Sorrento Therapeutics, trades NASDAQ, SRNE is a symbol, and I see it was trading around $8 earlier today. Talk to us just a little bit. Why do you like that one, and what are its prospects?
Yeah, this is a different area. It's on the curing of cancer, right? Recently, there's some breakthrough in cancer therapy. I send, document to my subscribers, and there are all these young kids. They have leukemia and AA type leukemia. They were cured miraculously, right? The people think they only have a few months to live. And then next thing they know, through CAR T, the therapy and the cancer is untraceable, right? So they're completely cured, and then a few years later, they're still living just like normal kids. So there's some great breakthrough in cancer therapy. So what it does is use your body's T cell, your body's own cell, program them to kill the cancer cell. That's the idea. And it works extremely well in certain type of cancer, especially cancer in the liquid format, because the T cell can go there and attack the cancer cell. So Sorrento, what it does is it's a similar therapy. Okay, there's a few fronts they're doing. One area they trying to do is solid tumor. Right? There's a case. I think their website. They have a presentation after 2 or 3 years, they have a liver cancer, very late stage liver cancer, that's solid cancer, and still alive. They're still seems doing well, but but those are early stage, so it's very promising, but early stage. Okay, they also have a very, very promising new technology. Instead of using T cell, using NK cell. Because the T cell, whatever, is your own body cell. You have to take it out and then grow outside your body, and then engineer back and then pull back your body. NK cell is natural killer cell. It's off the shelf. It can, just like a drug, it's more like a drug, right? And directly inject in your body. There's a lot of talk on this. They say CAR T is very, very promising, but there's a talk like each CAR T therapy will cost at least $250,000 to $500,000 per patient. Right? A patient per, but then it will kill you bankrupt or
sure.
Healthcare system because so expensive, right? But if that's the only cure. So NK cell comes differently. It's off the shelf, just like manufacturer drug. So to do that, so the NK cell Sorrento pioneered that. Okay, but all these aside, the most interesting part of Sorrento is trading at a discount to each of the rival of the similar space, right? With similar technology, they trade at discount to 5 to 10 times discount.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
it's a very, very deep discount. If they can be assessed by Juno as other for the CAR T cell, the valuation will not be 300 million, will be 3 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you treat NK cell, if they treated just for the NK to 50% space at NK cell versus, NK stock NK, right? It would be 1.5 billion instead of 300 million. So you can see the valuation is very deep, very cheap, and the company is very good financial state. Last quarter, they have 50 plus million cash. They have another 50 plus. I mean, I think its value varies a little bit. NK share is a short-term investment.
Yeah.
More than 50 million. So together they have almost over 100 million, cash and short-term investment, and they can monetize, and then they probably has enough money for next 2-3 years, and possibly more. So it's a very good balance sheet, very strong balance sheet.
Yeah.
And they have a very exciting technology in all the different multiple fronts. They also another area I don't have time to talk is biosimilar, but so you see there's all these multiple area. A biotech usually one trick pony. One area you bet in, you win, you lose, and then you're done. But this has at least 3 areas you can place a bet, and if one of those 3 becomes successful, your stock can appreciate by 10-fold. So that's why I like it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, there's certainly a lot more to ask you about, Chen. We don't want to take more time today because we want to save some good stuff for later, but sometime very soon I'd like to hone in a little more with this Sorrento story because I think it is really exciting. I was privileged, thanks to you, to listen in on to a discussion from the CEO of this company last week, and I must say that I am very excited about it, Chen. I want to thank you very much for bringing it to my attention, to your subscribers' attention, and I said maybe just I'll ask you just because this is another area, but just real quickly, Chen, gold and oil, what are your thoughts on those two markets because they've been so depressed over the last couple of years? Yeah,
that's a very good question. I mean, watching them very closely, I think gold is getting close to a bottom, right? But usually when you do a bottom, you need usually, that's what I'm thinking. It will be a blowout bottom. Basically, gold may test 1,000 and may penetrate below 1,000. Then really scare off, the investors, and that's where, the bottom is. And that's what, usually that's a typical bottom, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know. You don't know. I'm still waiting.
Mm-hmm.
The key right now is really the dollar is so strong against all the currencies. So that's weaken the gold, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, because gold in other currency is so much stronger, so gold production is still increasing. I mean, I just saw the report that Australia, gold production also reached another high in the past quarter. So because the gold appreciates so much in other foreign currency, so gold mining becomes the area for miner to generate some money, right? So actually gold production actually still increasing. So that's the issue. And then we discussed that the bet on gold miners is very high. It's at a historical high. So basically gold miners are taking on so much land and then increase its production. So that's actually from historically, I know you've been to much longer gold market much longer than me. Feel like it's not bottom right now.
Well,
they should be, it's most likely what I see could be a blowout bottom and really drop hard. Then, for investor, long-term investor, that would be a great time to buy.
Mm-hmm. And what about oil? Are we near the bottom for oil, or are geopolitical issues making it impossible to know?
Actually, I feel better about oil than gold, partly because most of the oil producers are not profitable, right? Their investment lacking, and so I think oil, I can feel pretty comfortable. Oil probably bottom, in 2016, if not sooner. So that's actually a lot of good opportunities for investors to buy energy stocks.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Chen. It's always a pleasure talking to you. It's always a pleasure hearing your ideas, and you work extremely hard. You're very diligent, and you do the very best you can for your subscribers. It's you're work ethic is greatly appreciated from my end, and I want to thank you very much for spending the time talking to us, and hopefully we can do this on a fairly regular basis. Chen, thank you so much for being with me again.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it.
Well, as promised, just a word about my coverage of Chen's hottest stock picks in my own newsletter, Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks. So I'm really quite excited about working more closely with Chen, but out of respect for Chen's subscribers, I will wait at least 1 week before passing along Chen's new ideas to my subscribers. But I do expect to hone in on and study hard Chen's top picks and then keep my subscribers up to date on a weekly basis with each weekly newsletter. I believe my subscribers will definitely benefit from this more closer attention to Chen's favorites. However, once again, let me emphasize, if you are able to act quickly on Chen's advice, the best way to make the most money with Chen's ideas is to subscribe to his newsletter, What is Chen Buying, What is Chen Selling? To do that, go to miningstocks.com and put your name on a waiting list. Chen will accept new subscribers during the first 2 weeks of January 2016. Well, until our next Chen Lin Light update, that's all for now. Have a good day.